The year was 1789, well over 2 centuries ago, in Springfield, Massachusetts. His origins were unknown. Perhaps he came from lines of Welsh cob, Arabian, thoroughbred, or Frisian. No one knew for certain. What was known was that he was a stout colt, a handsome colt, and so he was given the name Figure. No one could have known that this unassuming colt would become the cornerstone and foundation of one of the most outstanding and versatile breeds found today. As the colt developed, he was described as being small, about 14 hands tall, but possessed deep muscling in his quarters and shoulders, straight, clean legs, expressive eyes, a well-arched neck, and clean throat latch, and short pricked ears. When Figure was a 2-year-old, he was given to a colonial school teacher named Justin Morgan in exchange for settlement of a debt. Justin Morgan probably intended to make a quick sale of this colt, but as he put him to work, his ability and reputation quickly started to grow, eventually becoming legendary in his feats. The story of this magnificent colt and his owner became popularized when Walt Disney produced the film Justin Morgan Had a Horse. And for many Morgan owners today, this film about the life and accomplishments of the Justin Morgan horse was their introduction and beginning of their love affair with the Morgan breed. Though not as large as the colonial workhorses and not as tall and long-legged as the racehorses of his day, Figure would consistently outperform all of them. But as legendary as his personal feats were in his time, he became especially recognized and known for his prepotency, the ability to pass his genetic qualities on to his get. So much so that he became the foundation stallion for the breed which bore his owner's name. It was his courage, substance, kind heart, broad versatility, and prepotency that established his permanent place in history. Over its 200-year history, many Morgan breeders wanted a taller, leaner, more refined Morgan to reflect an increasing need for pleasure horses with more flash to their gait, and less need for a horse originally used for utility work. That perceived need led to outcrossing with horses that produced a taller, leaner Morgan horse, longer in the back, with a more refined neckline, but still retaining the versatility that they were known for. The results of these breeding selections resulted in what we might refer to as a contemporary Morgan, along with the Morgans of today, which reflect the original conformation and type of the original Justin Morgan horse. It's important to note that whichever conformation and look one prefers within Morgan families, the inherent versatility, courage, and heart of the foundation stallion Figure has been successfully passed through 2 centuries of breeding Morgan horses.
In the early 1900s, a gentleman by the name of Fullerton Phillips, by all accounts, spent a small fortune to develop a program based on traditional Morgan bloodlines. In 1922, tragedy struck when most of his herd was killed by a freak lightning storm. His program never recovered, and Fullerton Phillips died about 5 years after that. Fortunately, when his remaining horses were dispersed, a gentleman by the name of Robert Lippitt Knight acquired 2 stallions and 4 mares from the Fullerton estate.
Moving these horses to his Green Mountain Stock Farm, now the 3-Stallion Inn, located in Randolph, Vermont, Robert Lippitt Knight would become a steward of the original Morgan bloodlines for the next quarter-century. For the next 25 years, Knight bred horses with a mission to preserve the characteristics that made the Morgan legendary. In 1952, Knight dispersed a lifetime of breed preservation. But having remorse over this auction, he spent the next few years buying back many of the horses sold at the dispersal. When Knight died just 10 years after the original sale of his horses, the culmination of his career of preservation was once again sold to the public. Robert Lippitt Knight's preservation of the old bloodlines did not go unnoticed, and in the early 1970s, a group of concerned Morgan owners and breeders established an organization known as the Lippitt Club, taking the breeding prefix and middle name of the gentleman who had contributed so much to the preservation of the original Morgan.
One of the icons of the Morgan breed, an exceptional clinician and trainer, Eitan Beth Halakmi, once said in an interview that the attribute that he values most in a horse is heart. One of the things as a Lippitt owner, competitor, and breeder that I found is that these horses have an abundance of heart. All of the horses you will see here are Grand National and World Champions, having competed at the highest levels of competition and been successful at it. They've proven their ability in the highest forms of competition, in reining, dressage, jumping, driving, endurance and competitive trail, combined driving events, all disciplines which require stamina, athletic ability, and a solid mind. This episode isn't to showcase anybody's particular horse's, bloodlines, or breeding program. Our goal here today is to show that the Lippitt Morgan is one of the most capable athletic sport horses available. Anyone looking for an athletic, competitive, capable sport horse should really put the Lippitt Morgan on their radar screen. To have one horse in your barn that's an exceptional performer speaks volumes about that particular horse. When you have several stellar performers in your stable, I think it speaks volumes about the bloodlines. John and Sherry Rivers of River Riders Ranch have successfully campaigned several Lippitt Morgans to the highest honors competition bestows, both Morgan and open reining competitions. In reining competition, normally thought to be the domain of the quarter horse, the Lippitt Morgan has captured innumerable Grand National and World Championship titles in this rigorous competition. Reining competition is an exacting skill requiring discipline, precision, agility, athletic ability, and most of all, heart. All highly desirable and exceptionally valuable attributes of performance sport horses. Morrill Hill Mozart, River Riders Romeo, River Riders Renegade, River Riders Rapture, have all graced the electronic marquees many times over, and have caused reining people everywhere to sit up and take notice of these capable athletes. Whether tight competition or the entertaining freestyle reining performances that excite people of all ages, Lippitts have made a profound impact in reining competition. Most of the successful breeders will tell you that greatness begets greatness, and the Lippitt Morgan is an exceptional example of this. Probably one of the most successful competitive lines is that of a horse named Stillwater Indigo, who was owned and loved by Lester Welch in New England. They contributed much to the promotion of Lippitts and could be seen at many horse shows, exhibitions, and just plain fun activities. From Stillwater Indigo came a whole line of successful horses, the next being Meredith Bilirubin, an exceptional stallion who's captured the hearts and minds of all who have come to know him, and who in the early 90s captured a reserve Grand National carriage driving title in Oklahoma City.
This is Meredith Bilirubin, an entry of the Morgan Morgans of Obane, Washington. This is the entry from the Morgans of Obane, Washington, driven by Wayne Wilnauer. It's Meredith Bilirubin. And now
Meredith Bilirubin has been the sire of many exceptional and capable horses today. The two of his get have already captured several Grand National titles. Okan's Storm King has excelled at Western disciplines and dressage, and took top honors at the Grand Nationals recently in dressage.
What is special about the Lippitt Morgan is that it is a distinct horse with no known outcrosses to other breeds, resulting in a Morgan that has the highest percentage of the original Morgan blood today.
A purebred Lippitt is a horse which can trace the sire and the dam back to the original Justin Morgan horse and his offspring without any known outcrosses. There are only about 1,500 purebred Lippitt Morgans left today. They're practically an endangered species. But they are out there, they are available, and people can find them. I think the reason more people don't know about the Lippitt Morgan is that the stewards of the breed today tend to be focused more on preservation than on the performance attributes of the Morgan. They breed the horse to preserve these bloodlines well into the future and for the next generation. Consequently, you don't see many Lippitt Morgans at A-rated horse shows or upper-level competitions. There's not a lot of visibility or even awareness of the special attributes of the Lippitt Morgans, especially among people who are looking for talented athletic sport horses. But that fact takes nothing away from the exceptional ability of the Lippitt Morgan, which has been proven out in the highest and most difficult levels of Morgan and equine competitions across many disciplines. Another offspring of this line is Madrona Rubicon, an exceptional athlete who has already captured 5 Grand National titles and 3 combined driving division titles.
The Lippitt Morgan is an exceptional horse, athletic, kind, versatile, full of heart and willingness to please, all of the attributes that made the Foundation Stallion figure legendary to this day. The Lippitt Morgan has shown an excellence in a variety of athletic competitions and performance activities, making it one of the most suitable sport horses available, and certainly one worthy of consideration when someone is looking for an athletic sport horse, one that can make things happen. Their stamina, endurance, and willingness to please are legendary, and the Lippitt Morgan just may be the consummate sport horse for people seeking a companion and partner to get the job done. Owners will tell you that you cannot wear one out, that their stamina and especially their heart are beyond compare. Lippitt Morgans exude confidence at an early age. Young foals exhibit a trust and reassurance about themselves not seen in many breeds. They are trusting and enjoy the company of people. They tend to think and rationalize things rather than react to events around them. Those who own and compete with Lippitt Morgans will tell you about their superb confidence and attitude in performance venues.
I think another great stallion of the past was a Lippitt Morgan stallion by the name of John Ethan Ashbrook, who was owned and loved by Kathy and Peter White of New York. John Ethan Ashbrook wasn't shown a great deal, but he certainly had the heart and attitude to be successful. His get certainly have inherited that from him. One of John Ethan Ashbrook's get is a beautiful mare by the name of TFM Joan d'Arc, an exceptional mare. In her first year at the Grand Nationals, we had her entered into a very competitive World Championship timed obstacles class. There were 16 in the class. The incumbent reigning champion was a Morgan horse by the name of Roadshow Huck Finn, who was an exceptional athlete and carriage driving horse. Roadshow Huck Finn could get into an extended trot and just cover ground and never break a stride. He was just unbelievable as a carriage driving obstacle horse. In the course, there were a set of 4 cones set up in a stair step, and you had 2 choices. You could either try and slice it diagonally, which everybody was looking at, or run it in a pair of figure 8s, which was longer and more time consuming. As we came out of the 6th gate and approached the stair step, I just had a split second to decide whether we'd run it the long way or whether we had the ability to slice it down the diagonal and articulate around a cone that was set there to trip up. And as we came out of there, I saw Joni's ears go forward as she looked at it, and I knew immediately she knew exactly what I wanted to do. And Joni just sliced that thing perfectly and articulated around the cone that was set there to trip you up, and the crowd gasped, and we wound up winning that class by beating Roadshow Huck Finn by an incredible 11 seconds on the timed obstacles course, and that was Joni's first World Championship win against some very stiff competition. We then arranged to lease Joni's full sister, TFM's Serenata from Canada, from Bob and Marjorie Thomas, another horse sired by John Ethan Ashbrook. We brought her to Texas and put her in training and started working her and Joni as a pair, and they just clicked from day one. In the World Championship timed obstacles class at the Grand Nationals, it came down to Charles Smith driving an exceptional Morgan pair for Victoria Bennett. Charlie Smith and this Morgan pair were an exceptional combination, and they just glided through the course in a clean round, making it very difficult for us. But Joni and Sarah are an exceptionally athletic and agile pair, and they took routes through the cones that were kind of unimaginable given the layout of it and how tight they were. And they managed to slice 35 seconds off the prevailing time to win the World Championship. The point here is that the Lippitts are exceptionally capable horses that can compete and win at the highest levels of competition. Lippitt Morgans have been an exceptional choice for youth as well who are interested in competing at higher levels. Amanda Mastine captured innumerable awards and honors in the Northeast region in training level dressage competitions, and in their first year at the Grand Nationals captured the World Champion Dressage High Point Training Level Junior Exhibitor Award. They make an exceptional horse for youth who are interested in getting into competitive venues. In competitive trail rides and endurance rides, Ashmore O'Billy Allen has been an exceptional horse. In his first 3-day, 100-mile competitive ride with owner Rhonda Batchelder, he captured the Grand Champion Top Honors and also captured the Grand Champion title in the Kobe 50-mile competitive trail ride. In combined driving, these horses excel. They have such incredible stamina and endurance that at the end of the marathon phase, they're ready to run it again, while other breeds are typically spent at the end of it. They get their head into the game. Anybody who's competed with them in combined driving will tell you that. They understand the hazards, they understand the objective of it, and there's very much a team player as the rest of your crew. Lippitt Morgans have also done well on the other side of our planet. Carenza Apollo, owned by Rick and Joanne Hayes of Haymaron Park Morgan Stud in Australia, has captured High Point and Grand Champion titles in the ridden purebred and working stock horse divisions. And he's captured additional honors in reining, versatility, dressage, western pleasure, working cow horse, and more. This is yet another example of a Lippitt that does many things exceptionally well. Another example of excellence in Lippitts is a stallion named Shamrock Seville, an exceptional carriage driving horse owned by Bob and Marjorie Thomas in Canada. At the Grand Nationals a few years back, in the Grand National Finals class on Saturday evening, Shamrock Seville captured the Reserve Grand National title in the always competitive Salute to America Finals class.
Shamrock Seville.
But it was really an even greater night for the Thomases as Joni and Sarah, products of their breeding program, captured top honors for the evening. Lippitt Morgans captured both the Grand National and Reserve Grand National Finals titles that evening.
For more information about the Lippitt Morgan abilities and excellence as a competitive sport horse and companion, contact one of the organizations whose members are contributing to the preservation of this special bloodline. To own a Lippitt Morgan is to own a piece of a legend.